Good morning, guys, and welcome to the show. Fernando.
Welcome to the show.
Today we're going to be taking a look at some prototype SounDigital amplifiers. For those of you that have never heard of SounDigital before, one of the interesting stories I found out about the company is that it was actually started as a college project back in the 90s. But we're not here to talk about a history lesson, we're here to talk about prototype amplifiers. We have two of them. This is the EVOX 3001, and this big guy right here is the EVOX 5001. Now, believe it or not, the 5001 is not the biggest version of this amplifier. There's an 8001 and they go all the way up to a 20,000. There's quite a few of them, but these two are the newest. Something to keep in mind about these amplifiers is these amplifiers took 3 years to develop. 17 in-house engineers worked on these over that 3-year period. They have global patents on these amplifiers. These are redesigned Evo amplifiers from the ground up, and that's why they're called the X. Things new about these particular amplifiers: they have higher end components than their predecessors. They also have a new vibration distortion device, which acts like a spring, reducing the impact of vibration on the electronic circuit boards, thereby increasing the life and reliability of the amplifiers. So when these things are doing this, because the bass is pumping, the amplifiers are nice and rigid. The feature called DTR, which is dynamic thermal recovery, is a system which always maintains a high efficiency of the amplifier by accelerating the thermal exchange of the electronic components with the heatsink. That's this part right here. Now, once these amplifiers do ship, you're looking at 8.8 inches this way by 7.4. On this guy, 8.8 by 14. Not real big for what they are, but let's talk about what they are. The 3000, as far as power goes, now this is where SounDigital is a little different because of where they're from, Brazil. They rate their amplifiers at 12.6. It's a whole nother story at why they do that, but let's just keep going, shall we? They make two versions of these amplifiers, a 1 ohm version and a 2 ohm version. So make sure when you're buying the amplifier, you know what your end ohm load is gonna be, because you're not gonna get the power out of them if you get the wrong one, and or if you might blow it up. Current draw with music is going to be 149 amps. Current max draw, we're looking at 298 amps on this one. This one's going to be a beast. This guy, your current draw with music is going to be 215, maximum of a 502. Some of the features that the amplifier is going to have: you have an input RCA, an output RCA, a crossover with a subsonic crossover. That's a high pass crossover for the subwoofer output, as well as a low pass crossover. Your gain control, and of course a bass boost. There's 3 LEDs at the top. You have an 8-gauge speaker output here. Turning it over, they have a fan, and they have a 4-gauge output on the 3000. Moving on to the 5000, the end plate is basically the same: subsonic, low pass, gain, bass boost, 8-gauge, bass knob. However, because this guy, as I said, draws a serious amount of current, you now have 0-gauge inputs with a fan. Normally we'd like to take the bottoms off and show you the insides and all that. They're prototypes, but with that being said, they work. So that means we're gonna put these in a car and we're gonna play them and we're gonna have some fun. In for the lab today is the Haley Mobile. For those of you unfamiliar with this is a Ford Escape that right now we're doing some other testing in it. We happen to have a big box in the back, which is perfect for these amplifiers. Back to those LEDs. One of the questions we got about those when we unboxed these originally was, what are those LEDs for? We didn't know, but we do now. And that's the joy of actually installing in a car, so you guys can get the full beginning to end experience. Yes, it does have a distortion detector built into it. So the plan is to put the 3001 in first. We're gonna drive around with that for a little bit, and then we'll swap it out for the 5000. What we have going on in here is we have a DD1 distortion detector. We have the amplifier playing a negative 40 hertz bass track going into the amplifier. On the side of the amp, it has the blue LED, it has the red protect, and it has the yellow light here, which is the distortion detector. We have our distortion detector right here, grabbing the gain with it all the way down. We can see the signal light just pop up. As we turn, obviously the clipping light came on. Clipping light came on. We don't want that to happen. Turn it down. As you can see, it works really well. for this, the bass boost, I've turned the bass boost up because I like big fat bass. So right now that's at about 60 dB. Make sure when you are doing distortion detect, you leave the subwoofers and all the other speakers disconnected. Don't do it with them connected. As you saw there, we were connected to the output of the amplifier. Just leave it disconnected. We also unplugged the highs from it so that they weren't trying to get blown either. A few things about this. This is a temporary install we've done in here because right now we're playing with these 4 12-inch drivers we have. We've ran a 0 gauge wire. We are using a downsizer that goes from the 2 0 gauge we have here into the 4 gauge on the amplifier. So that right now we have really big wire going into it. Now that's all fun and games, but the whole purpose of these videos is to go have fun. Let's go drop some bass. Let's go hit some quad. Well, let's take it outside because the building doesn't like what we're gonna do to this. I'm just gonna tell you, with that song just queuing up like that, we just hit a 145.2. Just boom, that just... Now you might not like driving around hammering 24/7. We're gonna turn it down a little bit, listen to it at a normal listening level. You know, because this amplifier is really obtainable.
Yes.
I mean, it's a good price.
It's a good size.
I could see a lot of people buying this amplifier and not necessarily powering 4 12-inch woofers. Maybe just like one big super, super woofer on it.
You can power 4 as well.
Well, yeah, we can obviously do it. The 3000 is, I'm really not looking forward to the 5000.
Oh man, I'm really looking forward to
the
5000. It's just like
so here's how this is gonna work. This is a prototype, which means we want to hammer the heck out of this thing. So I'm gonna take this home, I'm gonna beat it up, and then we're gonna put the 5000 in. To you guys, it'll be like a blink of an eye. It's been great, haven't had any issues, which means now it's time to put the 5000 in. We're really gonna push this. We wanna see what it can do. It has been fun playing with these amplifiers and really pushing them to their limits. Sunday I had some time to just go crazy. I mean, like hours. Ears were bleeding. They weren't, but it sure felt that way. And now we can go with even more power. It's just even better. I still can't get over the size of these amplifiers. We didn't have any heating issues, never shut down. I didn't have any clipping, which I didn't think I would because we took the time to set the amplifier up. I mean, look at this. When you get down to just pulling the, I mean, it's so small. It's cool. I almost forgot to put my screws back down. Dean's rule of pulling out an amplifier, always screw set screws back into place so that when you're, they don't fall out and it's like, oh my God, what did I do? If you've never used wire ferrule, well, you really should. Having ferrules on these wires definitely makes swapping them out so much easier. Now on the side of the amplifiers, as you remember, they only have one input. It's one input, one out. You'll need one RCA. What we did is we put shrink wrap over our second RCA so that we don't make the mistake of accidentally plugging it in. With the basic wires plugged in, I'm gonna reach underneath the seat, unplug the highs amp, and we're gonna set this one up, gains and whatnot. I do wanna try something a little different. The last one, I had a lot of bass EQ put in, the boost. This one I wanna do a little less on. I felt I'd put it up just a little bit too much. It was a little too boomy. I know, that's hard to believe. When starting, make sure your gains are turned all the way down, bass boost turned all the way down. I'm going to set that now to 9 o'clock. So before I had it straight up at 12, and we'll start turning this guy up here. There we go. Don't want that light, turn the light. We're playing a negative 5 dB, 40 hertz track just like before. There we go. It's that easy to set up. It's pretty cool, there's no doubt about it. I love amps that put this feature in. It just, there's no reason to get it wrong. I'm gonna turn the car off and hook everything back up. One thing I will say, after driving around with it mounted here in the back of the car, the fan on this thing, it means business. There's no question about it. It is there to cool this amplifier off, and when this amplifier is hot, it goes into full tilt boogie and starts moving some air, which really isn't an issue because you're playing the subwoofers. However, if there's that one quiet moment and you're one of those guys that gets kind of uptight about like hearing fans and stuff like that, well then or seagulls that might irritate you. When the music is playing, you don't hear it. It's time to play it and see what kind of bass we get out of it now. Now, since the last video went up, we posted some stuff on Instagram and there was some questions about whether we're playing music or tone. We're playing music. We're here to have fun. I'm not dropping like a sign sweep, nothing crazy like that. We're just playing some music and seeing what kind of numbers we get, because this is a real world application, meaning that it's, you have woofers, you want to bang, you want to have fun, you want to quad on down. You're not going to be playing, you know, you might, I don't know, but we're not doing that. That's not my thing. We're back in the car. He snaps his fingers, he disappears. What he thinks this is, the Avengers. We got the SPL meter on the dash. It's reading low, which means there's nothing going on. We have Turn It Up, Cy Morris playing, the same song we had playing before. And let's see what happens. God, my ears are killing me. Let's just play it a little bit and see what happens. All right, the meter's not doing much more than that.
No, it doesn't change.
But I don't care what that says. This is way stupid louder.
Yeah, it is.
Like
loud.
this is painful at this point. Like, would you agree?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's way stupid loud. Yeah, that hurts. I mean, I'm not an SPL guy. I haven't been an SPL guy since high school, but this,
yeah,
like, it was fun before, but this is just, ouch.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean we're gonna stop though. Let's see what else we got here.
It's a 163.
What were we at before?
168.
We're at 168? I thought we were at 148.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that says 163.9.
Oh, no. Holy.
Yeah, that says 160.
Sorry.
This thing is stupid loud now. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I guess the moral to the story is small amp, big power. Yeah, it's possible. It'll definitely do it.
Yeah. And this is crazy.
This is
Very
crazy.
powerful.
Oh, man, it's like a, you feel weak in the neck? Like, it's just,
and just my ears, so like,
it's like, right here, just like, good fun though, good fun.
it's always fun.
Check them out over at SounDigitalUSA.com. We want to thank them for letting us play with these 2 prototype amplifiers. More to come, I'm sure. We had a lot of fun with them, so show them some love. Let's just play a goodbye bass. And as Fernando likes to say,
On to the next one, guys.
on to the next bass. All right, you guys have a great night as always. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.